Rachel Chu is about to find out that everything she thought she knew about her own life was only half the story. And honestly, the other half might be the wildest twist this franchise has ever set up. Crazy Rich Asians 2 is officially in motion, and what's coming is bigger, messier, and a whole lot more dangerous than the wedding drama we got back in 2018. We've dug through every confirmed detail floating around right now, and there's one reveal toward the end of this video that basically rewrites who Rachel Chu actually is. So stick around for that one. But first, let's start with the biggest surprise of all, because the sequel almost everyone was expecting isn't even a movie anymore. According to Deadline, this project has quietly shifted away from theaters entirely, and is now being built as a full television series for Max. And once you think about it for a second, that actually makes a ton of sense. Kevin Kwan didn't just write one book. He wrote an entire saga, and trying to squeeze China-rich girlfriend and rich people problems into a 2-hour runtime would have meant cutting half the story just to fit a release date. A series means breathing room. It means every betrayal gets to land properly, every secret gets time to unravel, and the world itself, the outfits, the parties, the family power plays, gets to feel as massive on screen as it does on the page. And steering this whole thing is someone fans already have reason to trust completely. Adele Lim, who co-wrote the original film, is officially stepping in as writer, showrunner, and executive producer. This matters more than people might realize, because Adele was one of the people who gave the first movie its emotional core. She understood the cultural texture of these families, the unspoken tension at every dinner table, the specific kind of judgment that comes wrapped in politeness. Having her back means the people running this story actually know what made it resonate the first time, and what fans are going to expect from round 2. Now, here's where things get a lot more interesting. The show isn't just adapting the first book again. It's expected to pull from the full trilogy, which means Rachel and Nick are heading straight into China-rich girlfriend and rich people problems territory. If you've read the books, you already know this is where the stakes jump dramatically. The first story was about a girl meeting her boyfriend's intimidating family. The next chapters throw her into a universe of mainland Chinese billionaires. Buried political alliances, generational scandals, and money so enormous, it makes the young family wedding look like a backyard gathering. Shanghai, Hong Kong, private jets, estates that look like small countries. This isn't an upgrade in scale, it's a completely different planet of wealth. And that shift changes the entire emotional question the story is asking. The first film was simple at its core. Will his family accept her? That's no longer the issue. The real question this time is whether a marriage can actually survive contact with a world this layered, this political, and this unforgiving, especially in cities that don't operate by Singapore's rules at all. And the reason this gets personal, the reason Nick and Rachel's relationship is about to be tested harder than anything the first movie threw at them, comes down to something Rachel herself doesn't even know yet. We'll get there. Just a little more setup first. Let's talk about Eleanor Young, because her entire role flips in a way nobody saw coming. In the first film, she was the obstacle, the disapproving mother standing between Rachel and any sense of belonging. But in this next chapter, Eleanor stops being the villain and becomes something far more complicated, a gatekeeper who actually ends up helping Rachel uncover a truth buried deep in her own family history. That doesn't mean Eleanor's suddenly warm or maternal. She's still calculating, still protective of status, still playing every move with family image in mind. Whatever information she's sitting on, she's revealing it for her own reasons, and those reasons connect directly to the biggest secret of the entire series. Astrid Leong is getting a much bigger spotlight too. Remember that mid-credits scene where Charlie Wu spots her across the room? That wasn't filler. That was a setup with intention. According to Time, Astrid's arc is expected to expand significantly because the second book dives deep into her unfinished history with Charlie. These two were engaged once, long before Astrid married Michael, and that old emotional wreckage becomes one of the most gripping threads in the next chapter. Everything that Single Glance at the Party hinted at is finally about to pay off. Henry Golding has also given fans something to hold on to regarding timing. Speaking with Deadline, he confirmed the project has real momentum behind it, with production possibly starting sometime in 2026. That's not a release date, and it's important not to mix the two up, but it does mean the wheels are turning, the cast is locked in, and cameras getting rolling is genuinely on the horizon. A 2026 production start puts a release within reach not too long after, which means Rachel and Nick's return is closer than it might feel right now. As for the rest of the crew, Awkwafina hasn't been confirmed for a specific storyline yet, but she's publicly shown interest in coming back, and a series format actually works heavily in her favor. Movies don't have room for side characters to grow, shows do. If the original cast reunites the way everyone's hoping, Peak Lin could finally get a real arc instead of just comic timing squeezed into a few scenes. And then there's Kitty Pong, who was already a scene stealer in the first film and is set to come back even louder. Reports suggest China Rich Girlfriend gives her storyline a serious upgrade, turning her social climbing chaos into one of the funniest subplots in the entire saga as she tries to muscle her way into elite circles that very clearly don't want her there. Watching her clash with people like Colette and Hong Kong's old money crowd is some of the most entertaining material in the books. And now, the reveal that changes absolutely everything. The entire next chapter is built around Rachel discovering the truth about her biological father, and according to the books, he isn't just some forgotten figure from her mother's past. He's connected to extreme wealth and power in mainland China. Think about that for a second. The woman we met in the first film was an NYU economics professor raised by a single mother with zero family money or status. That entire identity is about to be cracked wide open. Everything she believed about her past, about why her mother stayed silent for so long, gets rewritten in real time. And this is exactly why Eleanor's transformation finally clicks into place. She isn't helping Rachel out of guilt or growth. She's the one person who actually has access to the truth about Rachel's father, and revealing it serves her own interests just as much as it serves Rachel's. Suddenly, Rachel isn't the outsider Eleanor wanted gone. She's tied to a bloodline with enough power that even the young family has to take it seriously. That's the engine driving this entire next chapter. Rachel's sense of self, her marriage, and her place in this world all get rebuilt at the same time. And the danger isn't abstract. Mainland Chinese billionaire families exist inside webs of politics, rival business empires, and secrets that can quietly end careers, or worse. Rachel stepping into that world means stepping into rooms where the stakes have nothing to do with etiquette and everything to do with who's watching and what they're willing to do to protect what they have. Nick, who spent the entire first movie trying to prove Rachel belonged in his world, now finds himself trying to protect her from a world even his own family can't fully control. Their marriage isn't being tested by judgment anymore. It's being tested by real danger, and by the unsettling question of whether Rachel still wants the life Nick built for her once she finds out exactly who she really is. So that's everything confirmed so far, for Crazy Rich Asians 2, and honestly, this might end up being a far bigger story than the one that started it all. The first movie was a love story wrapped in culture clash and family pressure. This next chapter sounds like it's turning into something closer to a thriller, with bloodlines, buried secrets, and the kind of money that comes with real consequences attached. And the fact that Eleanor Young, of all people, ends up being the one who helps crack it open just shows how much this story is willing to flip everything fans thought they understood the first time around. What's most exciting is that almost nothing about this feels like a safe rehash. A new format, a deeper and darker storyline, expanded arcs for characters who barely got room to breathe the first time, and a twist sitting at the center of it all that genuinely changes who Rachel Chu is. That's a lot of moving pieces for one series to juggle, and depending on how it's handled, this could end up being remembered as the stronger half of the story. So now it's your turn. If you're as excited about this as we are, drop a comment with which storyline you're most hyped to see play out. Are you here for Astrid and Charlie finally getting their unfinished business resolved? Are you more locked in on Rachel stepping into a world of mainland Chinese power and politics that none of us saw coming? Let us know down below, because we're genuinely curious which thread the comments are going to be the most divided on. And if you don't want to miss the moment casting news drops or a release window finally gets confirmed, go ahead and hit subscribe right now.